In this video, Dr. Brett Steenbarger and I share with the trading community at Bearable Traders ideas to spark real trading progress.
Hi, I'm Mike Bellafiore, co-founder of SMB Capital, and we're a proprietary trading firm located in Midtown Manhattan. And I'm also the author of the trading classic One Good Trade and the Playbook. Click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos that we're producing for you in the trading community.
Dr. Steenbarger and I have front row seats to elite traders thriving in this market, and thus what is most important to grow your trading account. Come learn what we've learned from these traders and trading the markets.
Let's do something, Dr. Steenbarger, that we've actually never done together in a webinar, but that we have done hundreds of times together at our firm, the firm that I started, SMB Capital, in New York City. And this is a picture from our prop firm where we're all together in New York City. Right now, we're actually just like you guys. Right now, we are all remote. Right now, we are using technology like Discord and Skype and Zoom to keep connected with our desks and phones as we handle a very difficult time in our nation's history. But when we are all together and we are in New York City and Dr. Steenbarger is with us, we do something very special, which is we start our AM meeting with some words of wisdom from the very best trading coach in the country, Dr. Steenbarger, who has a very special perspective because of his vast Rolodex and because of the different types of people that he coaches and works with around the world. SMB is a proprietary trading desk. We are a very special place. We have a very special firm. We have very special teams with very talented traders. And it certainly is a privilege to run SMB and to trade at SMB. But we are in the active trading, proprietary trading space. And Dr. Steenbarger swims in much deeper and broader waters than we do at SMB Capital. And so I always appreciate the traders immensely enjoy when he comes to visit with us and work with our traders and starts the morning with what he's hearing is significant and important to the big money traders and the big money firms that he's working with. So, Dr. Steenbarger, for the first time, let's mimic how we start a morning session at SMB Capital with your opening remarks.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. Thank you for having us today, Andrew and company. So what we're doing right now, right here, we are going to hold this meeting as if you are all you attended, all of you who are attending, you're now part of our prop trading firm. We are now holding a morning meeting and we are preparing you for the trading day. This is real time. What happens? What would be discussed? And
wait
what's
a second,
going to happen?
We're going to have to go get some more money for that.
Oh, okay. Good. Lift the offer. And after I present some views, Mike is going to go around the room, so to speak, and see if you have some ideas to share, which you could type in, and we'll go through those. So this is real time, what it's like to be at a prop firm. Is that right, Mike?
It is.
Good. Okay. Here we go. So what's been going on in markets? A few perspectives I'd like to share. These are the perspectives I normally only share with the firms I work with. Let's look at the stock market in the U.S., but it applies overseas as well. We have seen a complete change in how the market has been trading the last few days. Now, this is very important. Up to a certain point just a few days ago, we had quite a rally in stocks. But what we had was some sectors performing quite well, like technology, that benefit from this COVID environment, and other sectors performing poorly, ones that would not benefit from the environment. Small caps were lagging. Financial shares were lagging because of concerns about banks. And so we had a rally, but it was a selective rally. It's what we call a sector rotational market. Certain sectors were benefiting more than others. And then recently, the trade changed. We saw the lagging sectors catching a bid. We saw continued strength in some of the strong sectors, and you saw that with some of the shares that reported earnings today. And so we got a couple days of rally where the breadth was extremely strong. And I posted on the trader feed about this. You had a large number of stocks advancing in the S&P 500 index, but you also had a large number of stocks trading higher, advancing, in the Russell 2000 index. And I posted charts where you can actually follow that. Now, what is that telling you? If there is broad buying in the S&P 500 universe, and there's broad buying in the small stock universe, it's telling you that institutions are lifting offers and buying. They weren't doing that before. This is a change. This is important. Why would they do that? When I've asked some people, they said, oh, it's because of the Fed. The Fed is providing so much liquidity. Bullshit. The Fed was providing liquidity a few weeks ago. What the portfolio managers I talk to are focusing on is that for the first time, there are some indications that there might be some effective treatments for this coronavirus. And we saw it today with the news about remdesivir from Gilead Sciences, and we saw how the market rallied when the phase 3 trials were reported to look pretty good. And we've also seen a lot of interest in the work on vaccines, particularly being done at Oxford University, which was successful with a monkey population, and now they're working on human populations in clinical trials. So for the first time, we have some glimmer of possibility that there would be successful treatments.
If you want to learn 3 real-world setups that our traders use, including the simple setup that we teach all of our new traders and the setup that turned one of our traders into a 7-figure big money earner, check out the free webinar that we're currently running. Just go ahead and click the link that should be appearing right now at the top right-hand corner of your screen. That's going to open up this free registration page in the new window. So don't worry, you're not going to lose this video. You're going to learn more in a couple of hours from this trading workshop than from years of online education.
And if there are successful treatments, and it's an if, not all the clinical trials are done. This is an if. But if there are, then we no longer see strains on the hospital and healthcare system. It means that it's safer to go outside and return to work. It means that the economy can return to normal quicker. It means that people's lives can return to normal quicker. And all these institutions, the ones I work with, all these institutions, they have been underinvested. They bailed out. They were afraid of the environment. They were underinvested, and now they are chasing. Now they're buying. And so if you look at the NYSE tick statistics, we see upticks. We see advances in the small caps, advances in the S&P 500 universe because they have been underinvested. This is an important change. And we want to factor that into our decision making going forward. If we get locked into our old mindset of, oh, we have to retest the lows. Oh, this is a bear market. The economy is so weak. We miss what the institutions are really thinking and really doing in real time. Now, just one other thing that will help people's trading short term. That's a big picture perspective. When you see dramatic buying early in the session, and not just buying in the index like the index is up, but broad buying across all sectors, across small caps and large caps, when you see broad strength early in the session, the first thought you want to have is, this could be a trend day. We had that happen recently, and I posted it to the Trader Feed blog, and I tweeted it today. This is setting up as a trend day. There's so much strength. Institutions can't get enough stock because they were underinvested. A trend day means we open near the lows and we're going to close near the highs, and we can put on positions early, ride them into the close. We can trade around it flexibly and know that we're likely to make higher lows. What a great opportunity for the day trader. But you need to be able to see what's going on in the broad market to identify that trend day early and take advantage of it. Was that coherent, Mike?
Yes. Yes, and I see in this picture.
I've been up since 4 a.m. working with traders. That's as coherent as I can get. This is what we talk about in a morning meeting. This kind of stuff. Sharing perspectives that you might not otherwise get. I'll share one more perspective. Can I do that, Mike?
Yes, please.
I'm on a roll. I'm on my second smoky scotch. What can I tell you? Okay. So imagine looking at, you know what the RSI is, right? Imagine looking at a 5-day RSI for a stock, maybe like Amazon. So you're looking at the 5-day RSI. It's an overbought, oversold indicator on a 5-day basis. It's telling you if it's strong or weak. Imagine taking the 5-day RSI for every single S&P 500 stock and then creating an average out of that. So you have the average 5-day RSI for all 500 S&P stocks. When that number gets high, as in the top quartile of its readings, the odds of being higher 20 days later are very good. When that number gets very low and the market is broadly oversold, the odds of the market getting much higher 20 days later are very good. It's called momentum when we have very strong readings in that indicator, and it's called value or mean reversion when we have very low values in that number. Broad strength or broad weakness creates an upside market. And we can create indicators that capture momentum and value. It's a big part of the edge that quant traders use at funds, and we can duplicate that kind of work. And I'm happy to share with people going forward on my blog.
What will happen next is we'll go around the room and individual traders will start to share the one or two ideas that they're looking at. And so today, our biggest winner was in CAPR. I'm sure many of you traded that today. We will be looking at that as a potential second day play. Guys will inevitably mention that Tesla had earnings, that they beat on revenues, that it's gapping up, and will want to trade that. Inevitably, traders will want to trade Facebook as it's gapping up over 9%, had good earnings during this tough economic time, but they continue to do well, and will run through ideas like that. Inevitably, traders will talk about Wynn and how during a meeting with the White House, their CEO mentioned the casinos could open by Memorial Day. And so traders will go around the room. INO is a stock that traders have been flagging recently. And they'll give their perspective. We will say things like the market, we said this today actually, the market is in a regime now where as we get a little bit closer to reopening the economy in different parts of the country, that stocks are catching a bid. And there is going to be more news that comes out as we get closer to opening up the economy, and what will those steps be particularly? Is New York going to come forward with a particular plan? How are companies in New York City actually going to go about doing this? Are we going to be taking people's temperatures in the lobbies through scanners as they walk in? Are we going to test people for antibodies and let them go back to work? Is everybody going to wear a mask on the trading desk? And so we seem to be in this regime of things are getting better, people are feeling more comfortable, and keep an eye out on whether we start to get some data that some of these states that have reopened, whether they start to see a spike in some of the cases, whether or not they start to see a little bit more difficulty in their healthcare system. Is that sort of the next stage that we're going to fall into? And so we talk about game planning. Things are going great. Looks like we're opening. Lots of positive news. But what if? What if? What if? And we go around the room. And so I wonder if any of you have a stock that you'd like to share that you're particularly interested in for tomorrow, and maybe some levels you're looking at and why. And that's the value. That's one of the values of being at a prop desk. It's not just me, because I wrote a couple of books, and I'm a partner talking at people who have not traded as much as I have. It is somebody like myself seeking out somebody like Dr. Steenbarker, who has a much broader and more expansive perspective on markets to provide additional resources to our traders, and then for each of the traders to share. And then I will, if the ideas based on my experience are not worth their attention, I will jump in there and say, hey, that's probably not a good idea. This stock doesn't move enough and is not worth your attention. This stock is not a particularly good intraday stock. Why don't you think about staying away from that? This stock's just too hard for you to trade at the beginning of your career. It's too expensive. It moves too much. You can't control your risk. Move on. But we encourage the traders on our desk to share and develop their own ideas and build out their business. So again, I wonder, is there anybody in the community who would like to share an idea? And perhaps somebody would read it off for us.
Mike and Dr. Brett, I have a question before we get into that. And I did ask permission to jump into the presentation before. When people are talking about their if-then statement and their ideas, do you think that maybe the newer traders can get biased a little bit and get influenced by more experienced traders? Because we always say you have to be independent thinkers and you have to always come up with your own strategy, your risk management. How do you handle that? How do you enforce the independency of individual traders and not be affected by the community or more experienced traders?
Mike, can I answer that?
Yes, please.
Thank you. A beginning trader should not be thinking independently. A beginning trader has no experience from which to think. A beginning trader should copy the experienced traders learn what they're doing, understand what they're doing, and then explore, then create playbooks of trades and follow patterns in markets and make those patterns their own. But in the beginning, it helps if beginning traders model after the successful traders. You see that kind of mentoring in every important performance field, where you first model the expert performers and then gradually you make their performance your own by adapting it to your strengths and your perspectives.
So we had a historic March. It's the best month we've ever had. It should have been the best month we've ever had based on the volatility. But even having said that, the performance on the desk was staggering. And so after that month, I sought out Dr. Steenbarger and I said, how do we leverage the success of March so it continues to pay dividends for all of the traders at the firm? And he came up with a terrific idea, and I'm going to call it Project Leverage. And this is something we're in the middle of building right now. And so Dr. Steenbarger suggested, go take the traders that did well and ask them to create a playbook of their best setup from March, and also the best practices that led to them trading this setup as well as they possibly can for them. So the second book I wrote is called The Playbook. This is how at our firm we encourage traders to build their business, to take a half a step back and to expand on what Dr. Steenbarger said. So when you come into SMB Capital, before you get in the doors, you take a course called SMB DNA. That is the foundation that you need to understand trading. It's a great course, great way to start. And then when you are hired and working with us, you take something called the Winning Trader. The Winning Trader is a compilation of the setups broken down in variables that the successful traders on our desk are trading with edge and that have helped them become the traders that they are. It's just a compilation of what winning traders are doing to win. And we encourage traders to experiment, to sample those different trades from the winning traders at our firm. And some of the trades are not going to work for certain traders. Doesn't fit their personality and their cognitive skills. Other trades are totally going to fit. And the ones that fit, we ask traders to build from, to put into playbook form and to build out their business that way. And so expanding on that idea, and so every day everybody does a playbook trade of a setup that made the most sense to them, and this becomes what drives their business. So Dr. Steenbarger said, hey, let's have the winning traders build a playbook of their best trade and the best practices that led to them trading that the best that they could. Let's record that and let's create this private library of videos of these traders at our firm walking through these trades. And then I jump into these presentations, by the way, and I ask follow-up questions and highlight the things that are most important in these trades so everybody can learn. And we are creating a library of things that are working for new traders to copy, as Dr. Steenbarger is saying, and for experienced traders also to improve, because when you teach, it crystallizes why these trades are working. It clarifies why the trades work in your mind. It helps you to internalize what you do best. And so it's good for everyone. And so this is something that we're working on our firm right now. We're not sitting back and patting ourselves on the back about how wonderful we were trading in March, because we want to continue to get better and do better. And let me be clear, the results were phenomenal in March. Okay, we did spend a little bit of time being really proud of our work for March. And so I say to you guys, my SMB challenge for bear bull traders to consider is, what if bear bull community, what if your community leveraged its talent and built a similar internal learning page like Project Leverage for your members? What if the winning traders in your community created a playbook of their best setup and the best practices that went into them trading at the best, and presented it to the whole community, and that was archived for the rest of time for all of the new guys coming up the curve, and for the guys doing well to learn from each other as well for your community?
But Mike, can I jump in?
Sure.
The only way you get access to that internal learning page is if you contribute something. In other words, everyone is a teacher, everyone's a student. Everyone contributes. Everyone has experience to contribute, and everyone learns from everyone. That's what a community is all about.
I wrote a tweet this weekend building on that very point, and I tweeted, the trader trading the best at our firm this month, considering experience, is up $25,000. This is about $1 million less in P&L than the best trader, who would acknowledge should be up more given his abilities. You are competing against your best. And that junior trader recently, in fulfilling his obligation to share with Project Leverage, recently did a video for everybody on his best trade and why he did his best trading. And this trader has improved tremendously. I remember, and Dr. Steenberg, you're going to get mad at me for saying this, and you probably will counsel me after this not to think this way. But the reality is that there are certain people who I interview who, after about 60 seconds, I know I'm going to encourage we hire. And so we have a committee and everybody gives their input. But there are certain traders, 60 seconds in, I'm just going to recommend we hire them. And I almost stop listening. And this particular trader, 60 seconds into his interview with me, I think I kind of just stopped listening, and he was going to get my recommendation. And by that, I mean, just somebody who stood out to me, very strong bandwidth, very strong processing skills, great communicator. Somebody I wanted to be around too, which is important to me. Good person who I just wanted to be around. I want people like him at my firm. I'll have fun with more people like him at my firm. And so, in his presentation, and he's gotten a lot better. It takes time. One of the great gifts that a firm like mine gives to traders is that, in essence, we're going to give you 2 years where we're going to pay your bills. All you have to do is focus on trading. You don't have to worry about the rent or paying the grocery bills. We're going to take care of that, and we're going to train you up and give you all the technology and all the resources, and you just have to study. And you just have to be getting better. And if you're getting better and you're doing the work, we're going to keep supporting you. And so, he's gotten so much better recently. And I asked him to put together a slide on why. And so the specific changes and best practices I've doubled and tripled down on since the volatility spike are rigidity and routine. Does the same thing every day. A methodical size and risk management. Trading my psychological strengths. Selectivity and capitalization through confirmation. And people sometimes think these are silly things that they can't really help somebody that much. They do. They do. And then sometimes people think these are the only things that matter, and they don't. He was trading a setup, remember, with Edge that was helping him, trading setups with Edge that was helping him to do well. The two of them go together. You got to have setups with Edge, and then you got to be able to, you got to have those best practices as leading to your best trading. But these four things, these were four keys to him making significant progress. And that progress was not just, by the way, in March. This has continued through this month as well, and had started before the high volatility. So this isn't just a story of high volatility changing somebody's P&L around. But these are the things he did.
Mike, can I jump in?
Yes, please. Please.
Yeah. So I absolutely am not going to smack you down for that. In 60 seconds, you learn a lot about a trader. One trader in 60 seconds will tell you how much passion they have for trading. And another trader in 60 seconds will show you every trade that they have playbooked for the last month in detail. So you find out who are the show horses and who are the workhorses. And that tells a lot about who will succeed.
Yeah, we have there are two traders who used to be in a community just like Bear Bull. And they were independent traders out there in the US, not hired by a prop firm, just independent traders learning, and part of a community, and not a community as good as yours, Andrews, but part of a community, and ambitious as all can be, and kept reaching out to us, did an internship with us, and impressed enough people at the firm so that they were hired. And their last review with you, their last monthly review with you, I think was 200 pages long, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
So it's talking is, saying I want to be a great trader is one thing, but doing the work, doing the real work. And I remember meeting them in person and them sharing with me their playbook. We had breakfast in Clearwater, Florida. I didn't know what to expect. And here these two upstart guys, threw down their work in front of me, which was their playbooks of trades that they were taking. I want to say one thing about community, which we're finding interesting and important. So we can't meet like this right now. This is a snapshot of a happy hour that we had at a rooftop bar in New York City. And, miss seeing the guys. But recently we got a little creative and we had a virtual happy hour at SMB where we all got together over Zoom, met up and talked about what was working and what we could do better. And what happened during that virtual happy hour, but news broke that Gilead had promising results on its drug, that during the virtual happy hour, Dr. Steenbarger was saying, hey, this could be seen as particularly promising, and guys swapped over to their trading screens and started buying some stocks, and we made a bunch of money during a virtual happy hour. And today you mentioned the good news for the Gilead drug. There was more data that came in suggesting that it continues to look promising. But like staying connected is really important, and that's one of the things that you guys can do, which is lean on each other, support each other. I think that's hard. Trading's hard. There's going to be days where you get beat up. Good traders have days where some of our best traders, guys who make $2 million a year plus, do really stupid shit. And they share in their daily report cards with Dr. Steenbarger and myself. I just don't even know what I was thinking. And these guys are great traders. They make mistakes. And but if you have other guys around you who are going through the same things as you, that can be a huge advantage to your trading career. And one of the things that's so interesting as we've gone remote, so we can't meet in our offices, is that so at our desk everybody is grouped into teams. Senior traders run teams. So Shark runs a team, and Swang runs a team, and Dan G runs a team, and Wilgus runs a team, and Memo runs a team. They all have teams and junior traders under them who can learn from these senior traders. And now we've gone remote, and one of the things I find interesting is that there's cross-pollination of teams. There's clusters that are being developed so that guys are in their optimal groups, so that they are in the most comfortable environments. And so at a prop firm, you physically have to sit in certain areas. Virtually, you actually have a little bit of an advantage because you can go sit next to anybody. You don't have to sit next to the guy who our floor manager told you to sit next to. And you can start to develop these new relationships. But working together is huge, and forming these clusters of guys who trade like you, and you enjoy listening to the way that they call out their trades. Certain guys are they're too loud, or certain guys are too anxious, and certain guys are too aggressive. But then there's groups that think like you and trade like you, and you do best with.
Mike, I have a question because it was always my question. Even before the lockdown, people don't need to be New York citizens to be part of SMB, your firm. They can actually trade remotely and have access to all of the resources, morning discussions and everything. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true. And again, we are all remote right now. And it's the first time in our history where all of our traders are remote. And our technology team did a great job of quickly transitioning the infrastructure to the hum best during these times. One of the huge advantages of working at a prop firm like ours is we have technology that just isn't available to retail traders. If you are a profitable trader and you trade on our technology and you learn how to use it, and you collaborate with your team members on how to use it, you will make 30% more in P&L just from the technology. The functionality of it, the execution speed, the data crunching speed, the fact that it never goes down. I mean, it just does. Our platform doesn't go down. It just doesn't go down. You hear stories about Thinkorswim being slow or going down. You can't enter orders, particularly on those days where we were limit down. I mean, our platform doesn't go down. We're able to trade seamlessly. And so, being up on days like that can make all the difference. So that's a huge advantage. And, we were able to replicate a really great technology experience virtually in short order. But yeah, if you are a trader who wants to grow, and you are a trader who has designs of being a seven-figure trader, I just had a phone conversation with a particular trader who lives well outside New York City and had been doing well as a retail trader and was making a couple of bucks, six figures. And I asked what that person's goals were. And I said to him, you come to a firm like ours because you want to find out how good you can be. You can be a lot better when instead of being able to trade only your capital, there's a $20 million account that you can utilize on an intraday basis, where the technology helps you to make 30% more, where you get to talk with Dr. Steenbarger, the best trading coach in the country, about your trading if you need to, where there's a risk, where there's a floor manager who is watching you closely so that when you're trading poorly, those days you're just not seeing the screens correctly, you only lose $50,000 instead of $150,000. Or for a newer guy, maybe you only lose $1,000 instead of $10,000. You're keeping more of what you're making. Where you have partners who are thinking about how to provide more resources so that you can get as good as you can be. So that you have technology where you can build automated models or build custom alerts or build scripts to get you into more of your best plays. Where you have traders who have different strategies that are winning that you can learn and try and implement into your trading. Where you have senior partners who understand when market regimes change and can give you advice to say, hey, this is what we should be focusing on. That's the type of environment where you're going to find out how good you can be.
Mike, can I jump in here? Some
Sure.
people have been asking some good questions here on the chat. One person asked, what are you doing differently that enables your traders to be more profitable? Let me just give a perspective on that for someone who works with the SMB traders, but is separate from SMB. A big part of profitability is not just in how you trade, but what you trade. My perception is that many SMB traders are successful because they are in the right stocks, the right opportunities. They are using the technology to screen for opportunities, to see what's moving, to see which levels are being broken, and that is giving them an edge to start with. Being in the right companies, the right stocks is half the battle. You can be a great oil driller, but if you drill in the wrong places, you'll never find oil. You've got to be in the places where there's opportunity.
And Shark is a great example of that. Shark first had his success trading low float small caps, and then has expanded his playbook by finding trades similar in high beta names, large caps, and then a couple of years ago, we brought you in, Dr. Steenbarger, and schooled the guys up on trading market plays, which he's been working on. And when you run into a VIX above 60, really pays off. And this is a picture of Shark receiving his first black shirt. You receive a black shirt at our firm if you make $2 million in net P&L for a year. And this is a career milestone. This is something that people are dreaming about from the first day of training at a firm, maybe even during the interview process. It's a huge accomplishment. And I remember how proud I felt to see him accomplish this for him, and how proud I told him he should be for his accomplishment. But one of the things that happens at a prop firm is that there are no ceilings. Ceilings are for houses, not traders. There's always a next level you can hit. And so this huge accomplishment where he made over $2 million for the year, in March, he made that look small. In March, in just 1 month, he made well over enough to earn a black shirt in a year, well over. He shattered his past P&L highs, because while he was earning that black shirt, he was also learning different setups, adding different setups to his playbook, like market plays, how to trade SPY, how to trade volatility. So he had a huge trade in TVIX, one of the volatility ETFs, a huge trade in TVIX, which he never would have had if he didn't really study his market plays, work on them for years before March. And if he just would have been happy with making $2-3 million bucks a year doing what he was doing, then he would have had a ceiling. But at a prop firm, guys are thinking about how to do better all the time. When it's after they've had a year where they earn a black shirt, it's, well, how do I make 8 figures in a year? And you're in the environment with guys who are thinking like that. And you're seeing people who don't walk any differently than you, who came up through the same training program as you, who, you talk to every day. You can be like them. And it sets the tone for what's possible.
Again, can I jump in, Mike?
Sure.
This is very important for you guys in the Bear Bull community. And please listen carefully. At a firm like SMB, you are trading the financial capital of the firm. They put up the money. That's what you're trading. When you belong to a community like Bear Bull, you are trading your own financial capital. But if you are a successful community, you are sharing intellectual capital. A community like Bear Bull is a prop firm. It's just that you're sharing intellectual capital rather than financial capital. But if you are a successful community, each one teach one. Everyone is sharing ideas. Everyone is learning from everyone. And that makes a synergy that makes everyone better.
Hey, go ahead and click our subscribe button so you don't miss any of the videos they're producing for you in the trading community. And please take the time to add your feedback in the comments section for what videos you'd like for us to produce next and what you found helpful from this video. From all of us at SMB, train and trade well.